Here we are at the tail end of 2016, and before I can even reflect on my year in reading, I've already got a list of books I want to read for 2017. It's the end of the year, there's a ton of best of lists coming out, and it means a ton of books I want to get to in the coming months. It feels like I'm the only person in the world that still hasn't read Colson Whitehead's The Underground Railroad, but I'm also queuing up the Knicks, Swing Time, Today Will Be Different, and The Portable Veblen. And there's all those books from 2015 that made the best of list that I still haven't gotten around to, including The Sympathizer, Turner House, and A Manual for Cleaning Women. And to say nothing of the book-to-movie adaptations for these movies coming out in 2017 that I want to get to, including Lost City of Z, A Wrinkle in Time. I can't believe I still haven't read A Wrinkle in Time. And possibly The Circle, if I can get over never wanting to read Dave Eggers again after DNFing a heartbreaking work of staggering genius so hard. So once again, it's the beginning of the year and my TBR signing checks my reading ass can't cash. It's a complete disaster. I'm getting a little stressed. But back to 2016, aside from a few standouts, it was mostly a year of okay fiction. I mean, completely serviceable distractions. Well-crafted works that were just swell. Friend zone fiction. Okay, so here are, in no particular order, some of my favorite reads of 2016. Now, I've done video reviews for every single one of these books, so if you want a little bit more information, check out the original videos. I'll have a list of those as well. So, starting off with Jane Steele by Litsy Faye. Now, most of the books I'm going to talk about actually appear on a lot of year-end best-of lists. This one seems to have been left out in the cold, and that is a damn crime. This is a hella good retelling of the classic Charlotte Bronte novel that reimagines Jane Eyre, crossed with Dexter Morgan with a side of kick-ass. This thing is seriously smart and crazy fun. I loved this read. Version Control by Dexter Palmer. All this timey-wimey stuff can get ridiculous and more than a little tired. Case in point, the current X-Men continuity in the comics that sees a young, coming out of the closet Iceman sharing a timeline with an older heterosexual Bobby Drake, as well as an asexual ancient Iceman. You also have Scott Summers' son sharing a timeline with his own mother, who is probably the age of his granddaughter. Version Control is far smarter than that, way more self-aware, and vaguely unsettling. At the heart of it is not a time machine, but a causality violation device. Expect to have your expectations subverted with this book. Homegoing by Yeah Jesse. People love this book, and for good reason. I don't need to add to the hype other than to say that all the praise being heaped on this book is well deserved. For an important read, it still managed to do everything it sets out to in under 300 pages, which makes it a quick read that rewards your effort. You should totally check this book out. Private Citizens by Tony Tulatumuti. I love this book, and I'm only slightly kidding when I say it reads like an MFA class 8 thesaurus and shit this book out. This thing is too clever by half, and I can't decide if it will be completely forgotten in 5 years or if embedded in its clever observations, wry asides, and literary gymnastics is something that captures something larger than just millennials, but this whole conflicted, confusing, self-absorbed, but well-meaning time that we live in now. This was my one unequivocal 5-star read of the year. Ghetto Side by Jill Iovine. Jill Iovine embedded with the South Central Los Angeles Police Department for well over a decade, covering homicides that overwhelmingly targeted young black men. This was all done thanks to the help of the Los Angeles Times and represents the type of investigative journalism that newspapers do so well, and in light of our current environment is all that much more important. This was a favorite in a year of gripping, thoughtful, and emotive nonfiction reads. Shelter by Jun Young. This is a dark, graphic at times book with characters that are entirely unsympathetic and oftentimes very frustrating. It's a bit of a gut punch with an ambiguous ending that doesn't leave you with any easy answers, and it's one of those endings that you want to talk to someone about immediately. This deserves to be on more best of lists. Honorable mention for books that I didn't get a chance to do video reviews for, but I enjoyed immensely, include Escape from Baghdad by Syed Hossein, Signs Preceding the End of the World by Yuri Herrera, translated by Lisa Dillman, the short story collection American Housewife by Helen Ellis, as well as the graphic collection Killing and Dying by Adrian Tomine. So that's it for 2016. Here's to 2017. I hope you have a happy new year, whatever it is you end up doing, and we'll talk to you soon. Bye.